I ghosted my boyfriend of 5 years. I came over to his house one morning to surprise him with breakfast and a video game he wanted, only to find him naked, asleep, and with his ex curled up in his arms. He didn't hear me come in, so I closed his bedroom door, and left his breakfast and game on the kitchen counter along with my key to his house. I went to my car, deactivated my Facebook, and blocked him on all other forms of social media. I then called my phone provider to change my number before driving off. I texted family members and close friends that we were no longer together and to block him on social media as well. I didn't tell them why. I was in a position to end the lease at my apartment early, and I started a new job in a different city later that week. I completely removed myself from him and didn't offer a shred of explanation or opportunity for dialogue. I disappeared from his life after his betrayal, and I think it'll not only help me to focus on myself without his presence, but I think completely shutting myself off from him will hurt worse than anything when he thinks on how good he had it with me these last 5 years. That's not like regular ghosting. He knows why. He knows exactly why. What game did you leave there?
Super Mario Odyssey.
That's a really calm way to do it. You saved yourself the begging and apologies and potentially going through it all again. Well done, plenty of fish in the sea.
Please don't start a romantic relationship with a fish.
I wanna read the Tifu from your ex.
Tifu by being startled when my unwelcome ex-girlfriend barged into my house while I was installing a new light bulb, causing me to slip off the chair I was standing on and bash my head into hers, knocking us both unconscious. When I woke up, my girlfriend had ghosted me.
You can see my ID to verify my name, my marriage license, and my husband's death certificate. I can't tell anyone this, even my therapist. Lambaste me if you want, and maybe I even deserve it. I only ask what you would do if you were in my situation. Not what you think people should do. What you would really do. I'm a single mom of 2 boys, 12 and 7. My husband passed away 3 years ago in a work accident. A very large portion of me believe it was a suicide. I can't see him ever making the mistake he made that caused his death, and he had taken an action just before that which ensured his co-workers weren't in the room. I fully believe he killed himself because of our younger son, and no one will ever change my mind. We were told when I was pregnant that he would have Down's syndrome. We could handle that, even if it was severe. It turned out he has a chromosome deletion. His disorder is kind of rare, so I won't post which specific one, but suffice to say he'll never be anything more than he is now or has ever been. And what he is nothing. He doesn't appear to have any awareness and never has. His eyes are locked in one position. He doesn't respond to noise, touch, or pain. He is total care. He is capable of nothing. He is tube fed and on oxygen. He is in diapers and will be forever. He makes no sounds, no attempts to communicate. He never even really cried as a baby. He has never made an attempt to interact with anyone or his environment. I'm not upset because I got a special needs/imperfect child. I feel the way I feel because this thing takes up 200% of my time and does nothing. I didn't get an imperfect child. I didn't get a child. I don't love him. He doesn't have any personality. There is nothing to love. Yet I'm responsible for him. In addition to his extreme delays, he's also medically fragile. Respiratory crises, fecal impactions, his autonomic nervous system doesn't function properly, issues with his G-tube, infections, pressure sores no matter what we put him on or how we position him. Our older son has suffered because his non-existent brother has colored everything in his life. He's had medical care get delayed because there's only one of me and whose brother is more critical. We do have a visiting home nurse, but only 20 hours/week, and we aren't eligible for more. I was starting law school. I gave up my dreams and my plan for my children for this potato. My older son can't do a lot of things he wants to do because of the younger's need for care and appointments. The final straw was I heard a sound. I went into younger son's room to check, thinking he had forgotten how to breathe again, and saw older son hitting him and screaming, "You're why I don't have a mother. You're why I don't have a father. You're why I can't have friends over." You're why I can't be in sports. I didn't ask for you and I hope you die. Instead of being horrified, I watched. And younger son just did not react. No signs of pain or fear or upset. No reaction at all. He breathes but he is not alive. He doesn't know who I am. He doesn't know who older son is. He has no sense of self, life experience, or awareness of his surroundings. He doesn't need to be in my home. He doesn't know or care where he is. He is genetically my son but he is not family. My previously abused, brain-damaged cat who can't walk straight has more personality and is far more lovable than my child. In fact, I was looking forward to raising a Downs baby, even one with severe impairments. For that reason, with disability can come gifts. This boy is not a gift. He is a genetic mistake. I probably should have miscarried and would have definitely terminated if I'd known he would be like this. And the flip side is, if he has awareness, he's miserable. And there is nothing I can do. If he has likes and dislikes, no one knows what they are. If he is in pain, he can't tell anyone. If he wants anything, he can't communicate. He's had every imaginable therapy, nothing has made a difference. And so he's leaving our home on the 29th. I feel excited and relieved and then guilty because I know we'll be happier with him gone. He's already taken my husband and my son's father. He was working so much ought to pay for the cucumber's care. For the experimental therapies insurance wouldn't cover because this one was going to be the breakthrough. He was tired and defeated and disappointed. Sought counseling as well but I don't think he could ever say the words I don't want my son in my home either. He's ruined my older son. I was so wrapped up on the younger I never realized how ignored and damaged he was. He lost his father too. I didn't just lose my husband. He is my priority now and this malignant lump can be someone else's problem. At least they'll be paid a wage to care for him. At least they'll get a break from him when they punch out. I just want to never think of him again and I'm not sorry. And for that, I'm sorry. Thanks for reading. Edit, thanks/you/Piconiques, for calling me a liar. Are you a medical doctor? If your Google foo was any good you would have stumbled on 3p mosaic deletion duplication syndrome. That is the disorder my son has. I basically identified myself by posting that but hey, it's better than the PMs telling me to kill myself. If you look at the features of 3p deletion syndromes they look like Downs. My insurance didn't cover AFP testing which would have told us it wasn't Downs and I didn't think we needed it. I had a regular ultrasound and a 3D. Both tests were 99% sure it was Downs. This post was absolutely not fiction. Instead the mods and especially /you/Piconiques just decided it was. If anyone would like I'll dox myself. You can see my ID to verify my name, my marriage license, and my husband's death certificate. I will then link you to the news article of the freak industrial accident that ended his life so you can see it's the same person. As for not choosing hospice for my son, I can't. About a year ago I myself was hospitalized with severe depression and CPTSD, there is proof of that too. During that time my late husband's mother petitioned to get control as my son's medical proxy and got it. I'm fighting it but it's a long, complicated process. There are competency hearings. There are statements from doctors and evaluations. Unless she asks hospice, which she refuses, I cannot decide that. I have custody. I cannot take medical decisions. She agreed to residential care which I feel is the second best option. So, he's going into residential care. As for mistaking a child choking with hitting, I was downstairs. I couldn't hear what my older son was saying. I only knew he was speaking. Go punch a blanket or, I'd, a person with weak muscle tone. Ask said person with weak muscle done to cough. They don't cough normally/forcefully. It's more a strong puff. Similar to, again, Ike. A muted punch. When you're used to jumping at every strange sound, it's difficult to discern what's what sometimes. /you/Piconiques. Anything else you'd like to know? Care to admit I just might be telling the truth? There were identified details I left out but guess you'll need them. I work with profoundly disabled children every day so I probably understand better than most. Unfortunately in the vast majority of cases a miraculous treatment for brain disease doesn't exist, especially if there was nothing there in the first place. Most times the best you can hope for is to slow the progression of damage. I'm sorry for what your family has been through and I wish the best for you.
Exactly, a chromosome deletion this rare is not going to improve.
Take your other son to Disney or some other vacation for a week on the 30th. Also, get counseling for him and for you when you get home.
Please talk to your therapist about this. If you don't feel like you can talk to your current one, maybe find a new one. Edit. I'll give the benefit of the doubt and go with my original advice.
Honestly, I think that may be the best/only choice for you. While I can't understand exactly what you're going through, I've seen how bad it can be for parents of children with any disorder. It may sound cruel, but I hope doing this can help the bond between you and your older son. I hope everything becomes at least slightly better for you. I'm sorry for you because you are obviously having a hard time and emotionally at the end of your rope, which is why you're venting here. I think you'll get lots of hate for posting this, however, that's the last thing you need. You're being honest. You can't handle this. Putting the child in a residential facility may be the right thing to do for your family, for him as well as for you and your other son. You are not harming him. I think you also are still processing your husband's death. I can't empathize with either situation, but it seems like a heavy load. I don't know what I would do in that situation, and no one can judge who hasn't been in your shoes. You're okay, forgive yourself.
Thank you for at least trying to understand. I appreciate it very much.
I accidentally killed my brother. Throw away because a lot of people know that this happened to me. I'm going to leave out a lot of detail too, just so it can't be easily traced back to me. I'm just living with so much guilt. I need to get this out because it's hard to talk about with people that I know. When I was 10, I had a little brother who was 2.5. We spent a lot of time with our neighbors because our moms were friends and they had 4 kids around the ages of my siblings. One day, we were exploring in the wooded area behind our houses and I found a huge rock. It looked like it had smaller shiny rocks in it. It wound up being a piece of cement with metal shards in it, and I thought it was pretty and wanted to take it home. Once we got back to our house though, our mom told us all to pack into the neighbor's car as we were going to Chuck E. Cheese. The rock was heavy, so I brought it with us rather than lugging it home. My neighbors had one of those huge fans that sat like 15 people and had shelves above the seats, so I put the rock in one of the shelves, and struggled to do so, as it was so heavy. Long story short, my baby brother sat below that shelf. At some point when the van stopped, the rock fell out of the shelf and crushed his little head. It wasn't super gory, but it was bad enough to have killed him right away. Right in front of my mom, me, my brother, sister, and our friends and their mom. At an intersection during a red light. I just remember my mom screaming, "Where did that come from?" and "Oh God, my baby," over and over again. It came out as a whisper at first, but eventually I was about to choke out an audible "me," and I'll never forget the look on my mom's face. It was a mixture of pure grief, knowing my brother was dead, anger, because I had done something so dumb that it resulted in the death of her youngest child, and compassion, because I know she wanted to hug me and tell me it wasn't my fault, but she couldn't at that time. She's regretted it for years and has apologized to me over and over, but all she said at that moment was, "You killed your brother." I'm 26 now and it's been 16 years since my brother died and I'm still in therapy. My family has assured me every day since that it wasn't my fault and nobody blames me, and that's a sweet sentiment, but it was still my fault. It was an accident, but I still directly caused it. That sweet little baby is dead because of me and I can't escape it. Watching my parents grieve like that was unbearable, and they still feel so much pain. I just can't stand the pain anymore. My whole life has been a wreck since then and I can't seem to get myself on track. I'm a high school dropout who has to leave work at least once a month because of my severe and constant panic attacks. I have full days where I am paralyzed and can't get myself out of bed. I feel like I should be dead, and not my brother. If you read all of this, thank you. It was hard to write. I just need the universe to know that I haven't forgot what I've done, and I want everyone to know that I'm so sorry. I'll never forgive myself and I'll never forget. Edit. Wow. I posted this right before work and wasn't expecting this reaction. Thank you to everyone who has replied and DM'd me. If I can't respond, please know when I get off work I'm going to read everything and it means so much to me. Thank you so much to everyone. Edit number 2. There are so many comments and messages, so it's hard and very emotional to try and respond to each of you, even though I wish that I could. You all have brought me so much peace today. It's hard to even explain. I'm sitting here sobbing reading all of your replies, but it's giving me so much peace. Thank you. from the bottom of my heart. I will always keep this account logged in so I can keep your messages close to me and read them when things are hard. I can't tell you how much all of your kind words have meant to me. Why the hell does this have a light tag? This was difficult to read, not because of what happened to your brother but what has happened to you. The guilt and shame you have carried for so long sounds debilitating and painful. I'm sorry that you have experienced this. I hope that sharing it may lighten the burden a little bit. You were a child, and you found a rock that you liked. You wanted to bring it home. That's what kids do. Why not hold the driver accountable? Or the car brakes for that matter? What about your mom? She didn't see the rock? These explanations probably seem like a stretch as they should. As someone who may be more objective, blaming the kid that wanted to take a neat rock home is just as much of a stretch.
Also wanting to add something about the way of thinking of children. There are many comments here that say you have no fault simply because you were a child, and you might also struggle to accept this plain explanation. If you look into cognitive developmental stages of the human, for example Piaget's theories, you will find that a child of this age is not really capable of foreseeing such a specific situations. Hypothetical thinking is very limited in children. Thus, this proves yet again that there was nothing else you could have done differently. Be more kind and forgiving to yourself. You are a good person for caring so much already.
I'm so sorry that this happened to you. You already know that it wasn't your fault, but I understand why you feel guilty. Escaping from that feeling is hard, but I hope that you will be able to find peace. Little kids do dumb things. Intention is a big deal. That's why the courts put so much emphasis on it. Your act was not intentional. Also, you put this out on the internet. At least one person, I guarantee, is going to read and learn from this. It will prevent someone else making a similar mistake, so you'll have saved a life too.